McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay By Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosile Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosile.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluffs. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Big issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM. The man.
Another wonderful Tuesday afternoon to you, everyone. It is the 3rd of September 2024. Welcome once again to The Real Issues with me, Shelton Daniel, your host and producer, alongside Alton Jaquan Joseph, our technical operator. Hope you're having a good day so far. I am. It is a wonderful day, a little warmer than yesterday and more humid, of course, but you will learn to appreciate the ups and downs of the weather, especially during the hurricane season, and I trust that this hasn't spoiled in any way the first part of your day, what you've had to do, moving around and so on. Of course, school has reopened, and I think we are seeing a lot more traffic on the road and so on, a lot more activity, so we have to plan further ahead that we don't get caught at the peak hours. A lot of buses will be stopping, a lot of buses will need to people who can be understanding and give way to them. There'll be congestion on some roads that we pass through fairly freely before. So it's all a matter of knowing the situation and preparing and planning, a little ahead for those times so that we don't get caught into it, so that we don't get caught into any road rage or snarl-ups and so on and the frustrations, etc. This morning I had to give somebody a ride to the airport, and it was only when we were on our way and what I thought was going to be a breeze, going to pick up the person and then taking them to the airport, that I realized, hey, it ain't as easy and things are moving a lot slower. I should have known that, but sometimes when you've had several weeks where the roads are fairly flowing fairly freely and smoothly, you kind of have primed yourself that it's going to continue. So be sure that you make the plans that are necessary. There are road repairs, there are road works, there are other things taking place, and that is something that you have to factor in as well. I will continue to appeal to the companies, especially CO Williams, who are engaging in road works and so on, like on the Millennium Highway, that I think good public communication and not a press release. When you remember or refer to a press release 3 weeks ago, you have to continuously keep people up to date, inform them, let them know what is happening, take some time, endure the effort that it takes to explain to people that X, Y, Z, ABC. Not everybody will hear it, but when somebody grumbles, another one will say, well, they did put out a statement saying so and so and so, and that is going to ease the public temper, the public tension, the public annoyance, and all the complaints that we can hear about those things. And I have made some of my complaints about it known, but I think it bears repeating, and just the same way that I am repeating it now, you need to be repetitive, continuously reinforcing the message. Let me tell you that today, after our 1 p.m. ad break, I expect to have with us Honorable Dr. Ernest Hilaire, the Deputy Prime Minister, the elected MP for Castries South, but importantly and relevantly, the Minister responsible for investment, which gives him portfolio oversight of the Citizenship by Investment Program. And I'm not bringing him to answer anything, to respond to any rejocks or Martinez's or anything like that. I'm bringing him to explain to us the real estate option of the real estate investment option of the CIP. What really is an investor? How does one become an investor? And what are the shares or files or units that are allocated to those investors so that they can raise funds for an approved project like a hotel, whatever, so that they can get the funds? And how do they go about selling it, marketing it, and pricing it? We're hearing a lot about discounting, and the discounting is illegal and so on. So I have had difficulty wrapping my own mind around it, and I've invited the minister if he can just explain that aspect for us. In the meantime, we know that certain things have happened. Very interestingly, all this talk that's been going around about we will lose our correspondent banking relationships, and let me just pause before I read the article, which I'm sure most of you would have known about by now. Why is it that everything that Mr. Alan Chastney has to reference and has to juxtapose against what is happening in St. Lucia is always some fear-mongering about the United States? It's always what we do in America is not going to like that, Apart from the absurdity that Chastney always seems to be selling himself to us as someone who understands the American system and knows how the Americans think and knows how they would react. There is that kind of yad-fowl. He's not so much a colonizer. He sounds like a guy who's so colonized in his thinking that is the only thing the guy can offer us, if he's offering a word to the wise, as he may think, or he's cautioning us. It's always something about our visa. You'll lose your US visa, You'll lose your visa-free access. You'll lose your correspondent banking relationship, And we better be careful, The Americans may not be happy. And Kenny Anthony didn't go to meet Joe Biden in Trinidad. So, the Americans might take a dim view of that, And or Kenny, he'll have to go on his knees and beg America for forgiveness, and by the time Richard Frederick gets his US visas restored, it's Chastney who has to come and explain that it's a 3-day visa, it's what it's called, a so and so. It's like Chastney becomes the US State Department, and he becomes the US Embassy. He knows about visa and American visa, and it turns out Richard Frederick is in the States now, He's in the States, and I don't even know if it's an official business. I don't know, Richard Frederick is in the States, and he has traveled to the United States since his visa was restored, and nothing that they are coming to tell you is what is connected to or is supported by an official communication from the U.S. State Department. They always know or the U.S. Treasury Department that we're in trouble. But, where's the official communication? How does Shasney know about we about to lose correspondent banking relationships? Does America ever do that without giving some kind of caution, some kind of warning, some kind of red flag, some kind of this? But Shasney always wants to make you believe that he has the inside scoop on all those things, because Shasney wants to sell himself to us as a North American. And one time it's as a Canadian, another time it's as an American who knows how Americans are thinking. What kind of yard-foul, colonial mindset that the man is always trying to instill in us, a fear of consequence from America, and this, and America will do that, and so on. What is going on there? Is there even a trace of St. Lucianness in this guy? Is there even a trace of a consciousness of sovereignty, that we are self-governed people who are politically independent, and we have to make decisions, that there's negotiations taking place? It's always an American and Canadian connected scaremongering, what sort of thing? To me, this is an affront, to and an assault on our dignity, as a people who became politically independent, who makes our decision, and who have relations, diplomatic relations with countries, including the United States and so on. He always seems to assume the posture that he's speaking for them. Shasney, what are you? Are you a representative of St. Lucian people in this place, a part of St. Lucia known as Micoud South? Do we hear you speaking for them? You come to the parliament, we don't hear you advocating for them. We don't hear you speaking for them. We don't hear you, it's only in fits and starts off and on, few and far between. When you want to do some posturing, you'll go in front of a human resource center and say how it's unopened when the answers have been given. Your heart just does not seem to be in it, whether in the parliament or in Micoud South, to say that you are there with them, you are, as we say, not chebe wedek yo and so on with the people. It's just a convenience for you to have a foot into the officialdom of our parliament and to be connected to the sovereign polity of the country and all of that. But it doesn't seem like you have that kind of, fealty and that kind of semper fidelis and that kind of abiding love and concern for them. Your concern is about America. Let America speak for itself now. If America finds that our citizenship by investment program is a RICO, they will go through the process of making that declaration. They will put their sanctions. The Treasury Department is always you come in and make a pronouncement. And in order to give yourself backer, you always go to people who will come and make pronouncements that seem to support your case. But when you just look at the character of the people that you are aligning yourself with, in order to, as I have said, spook your own country, if you consider St. Lucia your country, to freak out your country, to intimidate them, to make us afraid. It is always crooks and people who've been to jail and convicted of the worst crimes, RICO-like crimes, extortion and money laundering and drug trafficking and this kind of things, Martinez and Rijok, come on, man. I said about it yesterday. How a guy gave me what seemed to be the juicy story of my life, and I turned it down simply because of the character of the guy, the history of the guy, what he had to tell me about himself, killing somebody in Guyana or in the border between Guyana and Suriname, and then having to flee or whatever and come back to St. Lucia and this and that. And I just said, credibility wise, do I want to make this guy the plank of reference for me for a story and so on? I opened my mouth many times to ask the person that he said, had put him up to it and so on, to ask him, did you know this guy and did you have? And then I just said, leave well alone. A court found this guy guilty. They sentenced him, whatever it was and so on. And afterwards, the guy went raping his own daughter and went back to jail again. And then I said, oh my, thank you God for giving me that little sense not to go down that road, all kinds of stories about a man who paid you to go and kidnap two women, but you end up raping them, and you end up not even at the end of it all even delivering them to where he told you to bring them to. You just left it and you collect the man $6,000. How come that man didn't try to silence you? How come that man didn't put out a hit on you so you never talk or anything? He came with a lawyer to get you out of jail because he probably felt sorry that whatever little prank he was up to and so on, that it got so out of hand that you ended up in jail. Maybe he couldn't face the women who were involved because, it would make him culpable that a prank or whatever thing turned into a misadventure where they ended up being sexually violated. I can do this kind of calculus in my mind. You mean to tell me Alan Shastney, a big man like that who I heard say is 62, whatever and so on. You mean Shastney cannot have the sense in his head to say, look, even if you want to come and to create some kind of mayhem for Philip J. Pierre and to unsettle him and so on, and as we say, to keep the government on its toes, these are the people you're going to align yourself with? In a jurisdiction outside the country, like you want to bring, American, imposition upon St. Lucia and this sort of thing. But if you're going to do that, get some reputable people. Rejoc, Martinez. These are the people that you want to. And like I said, there seems to be a lot of bluff charging and a lot of, the lion growling, at the mouth of the burrow, so that just, the fearsomeness of its growl, it can't reach, that it's going to flush out, whoever it thinks is hiding there and so on. How long will this thing go on? Let it go on for as long as it wants. Some people must get tired. They must be faint and pant and go weary. And it cannot be those who have the law and who have right and morality and integrity on their side. Show me your friends and I'll show you who you are. You want to mount a serious charge against the government using the plank of crime, corruption and so on. These are the people you're aligning yourself with. These are the people, and like I said, it is sounding like a rap out kind of thing. You don't have anything to call evidence, but you come saying you have evidence. I have an evidence based upon what? Upon the say-so of certified crooks. So it's not any serious that you think you have caught the government out. It's a rap out. So anything anybody says that is against the government, that impugns the government, that assails the government, that accuses the government, that vilifies the government, you come trumpeting that it is proof and that it is evidence and that you have this. It's sounding like a rap out. No serious tracking to look at the way things are. Martinez comes, he makes noise, I found Rejoc was boring. I couldn't really watch him. But Martinez, with all his excitement, a guy who has made a mess of whatever business, venture or investment, it went bad for him. And so the guy is trying to make money and he believes that he can just come and growl, Gonde, at the government of St. Lucia and the minister, and that they will pay him off some kind of thing to keep him quiet. And come on, man. Come on. Let me read, a couple of things which I've had for a few days, One of them is about the performance. While we have people who call themselves St. Lucians, people who say that they are, that they have the good of St. Lucia at heart, but is just continuously, maligning their own country and saying some of the nastiest things, which if the international community and the correspondent banks and the visa authorities in America had anything to listen to that on the strength of that alone, they would conclude that St. Lucia is hopelessly corrupt and they should not get any visa arrangements, because that is what it seems. The only way I can get Philip J. Pierre out of there is to make St. Lucia ungovernable by painting St. Lucia in the international community as a corrupt hellhole where nothing is working and they are not worthy of any kind of concession or negotiated agreement to make life better. I have to absolutely create chaos for them, and then the government will fall and I'll come back in. People, I'm trying hard to remember a time where there was such a purposeful, deliberate, intentional, whatever you want to call it, attempt to commit such political evil, to have such political malice and hatred, to virtually see if you can dismantle the country for your own selfish purposes. I just can't remember it. I cannot remember it. I've heard about opposition writing to investors and saying don't invest in St. Lucia because this government, but it's like this thing is so very targeted and it is sustained, and like I said, evidence, we've seen the evidence. This is a serious game of running a country and trying to develop it. This is not a little neighborhood game of rap out that you're playing among your friends and so on. What kind of thing is that? If we have to leave the cricket and we have to go to the football, we would say Alan Shastney and those who are doing that with him are on a sustained push to score own goals against their own side. That's what they're doing, to score own goals against what they say or what they consider as their own side. They're playing it for team, but they're looking in every opportunity, whether through a back heel, whether through some fake miss or whatever, to score own goals on the side. Alan Shastner, you're not one of us. You cannot be one of us. Officially on paper, yes. But according to what we consider to be the identification and bonding that the people have with their country, with their compatriots and so on, Gaston, you're not one of us. You can't be one of us. You don't consider yourself to be one of us because you're trying to hurt us. You're trying to destroy us. Good thing correspondent banking is not determined by platform rhetoric or whatever else you went to the States to do. You say you went to meet Martinez, but who knows what else you were trying to do in Washington? Because you said you went to what is American University in Washington. You may have connections there that you try to exploit to turn the spotlight and the guns on St. Lucia. Added to the fact that you've always had this fetish for traveling, for hopping on a plane, going all over the place like a mad fowl. You know, running around all over, getting on a plane, hopping on a plane, going to Dubai and expecting that you can just walk in to go and see the Sheikh or the Emir or whatever and so on. You've been doing that, you know, especially during the time when you had the resources of St. Lucia at your disposal. At one time, even your own father went on Dave Samuel's show and said, yes, he agrees that you should spend more time in St. Lucia. Some Jubwa flood, I heard say that sometimes, you know, Alan Shastner, he gets the impression that when he comes to St. Lucia, his visit is visiting St. Lucia, that he resides and operates overseas, and that when he comes home, it's really a visit because he's always out. So I suppose the Martinez thing gave you an opportunity to be in Canada, to be in Washington, to be in Florida, to be back in for Labor Day, to be all up and all over the place. I suppose it gives you that opportunity to parade, to grandstand, you know, to march up and down the world stage as some soi-disant self-imagined colossus and so on. What is going on there? Anyway, we're going to have from the, you know, we need some solid education on this thing, but Bank of St. Lucia confirms stability, that's in St. Lucia Times, confirms stability of correspondent banking relationships. The Bank of St. Lucia wishes to inform the public, in particular its customers locally and overseas. And let's not forget that the Bank of St. Lucia also have an international financial services division, isn't it? Yes, Bank of St. Lucia. And there's Bank of St. Lucia International, Bossilai, I think they call themselves. The Bank of St. Lucia wishes to inform the public, in particular its customers locally and overseas, that it has not lost, nor is it under any threat of the loss of its correspondent banking relationships as a result of the St. Lucia Citizenship by Investment Program, CIP. Claims on social media that the bank has lost a Canadian correspondent bank relationship as a result of the CIP program are baseless and untrue. The bank's ability to conduct international transactions in all currencies on behalf of its customers has in no way been interrupted. Moreover, none of our correspondent banks have expressed concerns about our due diligence processes for wire transfers, including those related to the Citizenship by Investment Program, CIP. The Bank of St. Lucia wishes to assure all its customers that it will continue to exercise the level of due diligence in keeping with local and international banking regulations and to play its part in ensuring that St. Lucia remains a low-risk jurisdiction. Now, I think this is in response to statements or thing on his blog by Rejock, and I'm not even, you know, sometimes to reference those guys, you have to go and replay what they say, and I believe, you know, he's doing them too much of a favor they can never deserve to go over and to play back and to give them exposure. But here's what I think. I think Bank of St. Lucia should never be alone in that. Other financial institutions, and this is not politics, we're always hiding and not coming out to speak and say things on the excuse that, oh, there's political back and forth going there, we don't want to be part of that. Chamber of Commerce, I think you and your members need to come out and say, we have experienced no difficulties or challenges, nor have we received any cautions or warnings from our correspondent banks, whatever, in the United States, etc., suggesting that our ability to process and receive payments may be in danger because of whatever. We have enjoyed a stable, I think they need to. And government, I think you need to, the pressure is not the word, but basically to coax and encourage them to do so. This is not politics. This is just going on and on and on, that we have had no difficulty with making credit card purchases and transactions and so on. SLHDA, others, y'all need to come out and speak, not in favor of the government or against the UWP and Allen Jasny, but to come out and to make stolid and protocol statements about what is the state of play regarding international financial transactions that you have to engage in. Western Union, MoneyGram. When Kenny Anthony just was elected in 1996, I remember that convention at Labrate was massive. I mean, there was the expectation, the mood was a bit high about Kenny Anthony coming to take over the leadership of the Labour Party. And one of the things he said, not in exactly those words, but Kenny said this notion that the Labour Party, there is some kind of enmity, there is some kind of gulf, there is some kind of distance and aloofness between them and the private sector, that has to go, that has to be thrown out the window. And this Labour Party under his leadership is going to compete directly, stride for stride, toe to toe with the UWP for the support of the private sector. In other words, Labour ain't going to stay by and just assume, oh, well, they don't like us. And I heard too many people saying, oh, they'll never do that. Don't do that. We have to go out there and stake our claim and negotiate and compete for the support and the understanding of the private sector and the business sector and the banking sector. And this is not any kind of thing for Labour. Statements need to be solicited. They need to be encouraged to say, look, there is this thing that is being used to suggest that St. Lucia has landed itself on the bad side of international financial transactions and so on. You need to come out and say that you do not have any kind of experience. There is no warning, there is no red flag, there is no caution that you receive. That your transactions, payments, receipts, send money, receive money, whatever it is, credit card, Amazon.com and so on, that things are proceeding as normal. We don't have that kind of experience. You need to come out. Don't let it be only Bank of St. Lucia. I'm encouraging, on a matter of principle, all of you who are the heavy hitters in the private, the business, the banking sector, tourism, whatever, you all need to come out. Travel agents, hotels, sandals, you all need to come out and say, there has been absolutely no blip, no wobble on the radar of when it comes to transactions. And I want to say the authorities here have to go out and encourage them. Cultivate relationship. Don't sit and say, oh, they already don't like us. You see what they allowed Chasney to do to Hile. No. This is what Philip J.P. would call a Bwakase attitude. You must never allow that Bwakase attitude. Anyway, before the break, as I told you, I'll be having the minister. Let me just read for you. And that is the thing again, all what that is being said about the CIP program. St. Lucia's CIP is getting high ratings everywhere. I mean, it's rated number 3, the third best CIP program in the whole world, in all countries that have CIP. And done by a European agency, called Henley and Partners, have rated St. Lucia number 3, and they did it while this Labour Party is in office. Regional CBIs, in conjunction with the ECCB and OECS Commission, meets U.S. Treasury Department, UK Home Office, and European Commission representatives. Remember, now they have a collective approach to this thing. St. Lucia and the other. St. Lucia was not pushed aside. The St. Lucia Citizenship by Investment Program, represented by CEO Mr. McLeod Emmanuel and Deputy Chairman Julian Charles, joined the other regional Citizenship by Investment Program CBIs, along with the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank and OECS Commission, for high-level meetings with the US Treasury Department, the UK Home Office, and the European Commission. During the meetings, the units discussed the implementation of the 6 principles agreed to with the US State Department in February 2023. These 6 principles were as follows. Collective agreement on treatment of denials, not to process applications from persons whose applications have been denied in another CBI jurisdiction by proactively sharing information on denials. 2. Interviews. Conduct interviews with applicants, whether virtual or in person. Additional checks. Each jurisdiction will run checks on each application with the financial intelligence unit of its respective country. 4. Audits. Audit the program annually or every 2 years in accordance with internationally accepted standards. 5. Retrieval of passports. Request law enforcement assistance to retrieve revoked/recalled passports. Treatment of Russians and Belarusians. Suspend processing applications from Russians and Belarusians. In addition to the implementation of the 6 principles, St. Lucia was lauded. Listen to that, St. Lucia was lauded by the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank for providing its primary bank complete access to its application portal. With this initiative, the bank's compliance personnel now enjoy unfettered access to all application data via a secure portal at any time. Those checks, in addition to assessment by the Financial Intelligence Agency, effective September 4th, 2023, further strengthens the program's already robust due diligence process. The U.S. Treasury Department commended the regional group for its efforts at minimizing the risk of money laundering and terrorism financing options. These are some of the vibes that are coming back, that are coming out, about our citizenship by investment program. We would not be getting that if it is as dirty and corrupt and all that Rejock and Martinez and Chasney are trying to make us believe. You got in plaudits, you got in big ups. Anyway, folks, let's go for the break. And when we come back, we hope to have Investment Minister, Honorable Dr. Ernest Ile.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with big issues. Big issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosile Bus Stop, Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosile.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
Live streaming has become one of the best ways to connect the funeral of a loved one with friends and family, both local and international. NBC Television will live stream your funerals on television and Facebook at a reasonable rate. With our state-of-the-art equipment, you can be assured that the quality of your funeral will be to your satisfaction. Call our office now and book your obituary and streaming with us. 758-453-7458.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains, and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatments that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains, and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild. The power to heal, the future of pain relief.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in to and staying with the Real Issues on this Tuesday, September the 3rd. As I promised you before the break, that I was working towards having with us on the phone for some clarification the Honorable Minister responsible for investment, under whose portfolio the Citizenship by Investment program falls. And the thing that I want to discuss with him, and so that he can clarify for us, is the system that is operating or applicable under the real estate investment option. We've heard so much about the amount of shares and the amount of files and the amount of units allocated and how these were being discounted and sold below the price. And this is where I have to admit to you, as I have said before, wrapping my own mind around it has not been easy. And I could think of no better person than the Honorable Minister to try to bring some better understanding and clarity to that. Dr. Hiller, good afternoon. Welcome once again to the Real Issues.
Hi, good afternoon, Shelton, and good afternoon to all your listeners in Radio Land. And certainly a delight for me to be able to provide some clarity and explanation to assist in an understanding of how the Citizenship by Investment program operates.
Okay, Mr. Minister, the matter of the real estate option, who really is the developer? How does the developer come to be approved as a developer to get that status? And what is the process of assigning to them shares or files or whatever, which I understand are instruments to enable them to raise funds and financing for the development, the approved development? Can you explain that to us, please?
Yeah. Okay, Shelton, first allow me to explain the process by which one becomes a citizen by investment. And then I will zero in on the question you asked, because it's really important that your listeners understand the process, because it can be a little complicated, but it's also very simple. So let me start off. There are a number of ways in which somebody can become a citizen of St. Lucia. You can do so if you're born, what you call a natural born St. Lucian. You were born in St. Lucia. You can do so by descent, and only recently we changed the law to allow for 2 generations for you to claim to be. Before it was only through your parents. Now you can also become a citizen if your grandparents who were born, or one of your grandparents who were was born in St. Lucia. And the third one is naturalization. You've lived in St. Lucia for a sufficiently long time and you qualify for citizenship. And then there is marriage. If you marry, then you can become a citizen of St. Lucia. In those cases, there is no due diligence, there is no research done on your lifestyle, but basically you show your birth certificate if you were born in St. Lucia, or if you show the birth certificate of your parents, you show evidence you've lived in the country for a period of time, or you show a marriage certificate. The citizenship by investment option says that if you invest a certain amount of money in the country, you can qualify for citizenship. So in one instance, if you marry somebody, if you live in St. Lucia long enough, if you are a descendant of a St. Lucian, or if you're born in St. Lucia. So the citizenship by investment says, if you invest in the country, you can become a citizen. Now, let me give you a practical example so you can see how it can unfold. So say, for example, you live in, say, Jordan. You know, you're in between Iran and Israel, and they're about to start a war, and they throw in missiles at each other, flying over, and you decide, you know what, I'm a well-to-do person. I want to have a second citizenship in case I have to leave this country and go and live somewhere else because there might be a regional war. You go to an immigration lawyer, an advisor, and they would say to you, well, why don't you try St. Lucian citizenship? You will then have to decide what is the option you're going to use to invest. So the first thing you would do is to submit your application to an agent or a promoter, what you call a promoter, and that person would submit all your documents to St. Lucia. There you have to pay your due diligence fee and your application fee. You would be required to undergo a background search. So then they will go through all your documents, make sure all your documents are in order, they are authentic documents, they are legitimate documents, and then they will do a due diligence on you. They will pay an international firm to go and find out all they can about you. They will take pictures of where you live, where you work, who are the people you associate with, what's your police record, the things you've done in your life, and give a comprehensive report on who you are. At the same time, when you pay your fees to the bank, your due diligence fees, your application fees, the bank will also do a due diligence on you to make sure that the monies you have provided is what they call clean monies, not money from ill-gotten gains. So once the bank clears you, your fees go through, they will do the due diligence on you. When your due diligence report come back, they will do additional checks on you. They will do the police, what they call the law enforcement review of you. So they will send it through the certain circles to make sure there is no international warrant out for you, there is no crimes you've committed, whatnot. They will also do an intelligence review on you. It will go through the intelligence network to make sure that you've not done anything untold. Then it will also go through the financial review. It will go through the financial intelligence unit, so they can do a check on you to make sure you're not involved in any financial crimes. Once you've passed all those checks, you then have to make your investment. So think about it. From the time you apply and all the checks are done on you, that can take 6 to 9 months. At least 6 to 9 months. Only then you have to make your investment so you can qualify to be a citizen. So you have to pass all the background checks and then you make your investment. In St. Lucia, there are 4 ways in which you can make your investment. The first one is what we call the donation method. So, for example, you have your wife and 2 children, you will make a donation which will go to the National Economic Fund, and that money belongs to the country. It goes to the CIP unit, and the CIP unit takes it and transfers it to the National Economic Fund. It's called the donation method. The second method you have is to buy bonds. So you can contact the unit and you can buy bonds, say $350,000, and you will hold those bonds for 5 years. You will get no interest, and after 5 years, the Ministry of Finance will give you back your money. In addition to buying the bonds of $350,000, you will pay the government the fees of $50,000. So those monies will go to the unit. The unit will transfer the $350,000 to the Ministry of Finance, and the $50,000 US, the unit will hold it to transmit to government later on. So that's the second method. So you buy your bonds, you get back your money after 5 years, and you pay the government fees of $50,000. So the government owns through the unit $50,000 plus the bonds. That's a very good way for government to raise money, because when we go out there and we sell bonds, you have to pay interest of sometimes up to 6%. In this instance, government pays 0 interest on those bonds. The third option is what we call the real estate, and that's the one that has caused a lot of talk and a lot of issues. In the case of the real estate, if you decide, you know what, I don't want to make a donation, I don't want to buy bonds, I want to buy shares in a development. So a developer, and I'll come back to how you become a developer, a developer has a project. In the case of, let's take what's happening in St. Lucia, we have one project in Canels. Well, it's already ended in terms of shares, but I'll come back to explain that. You say, look, I want to buy a share in that development. The law says you must make a minimum of, say, $300,000 as it is now, as of the 1st of July. So you buy a share in the developer's project. It is not the state project. It does not belong to the state. You are buying a share in a development. It's just like if you buy a share in a company, the money does not go to the country. It goes to the owners of the company. So you buy a share from that developer, and once you pay the minimum investment, you qualify for citizenship in St. Lucia.
All right, and the minimum investment you are saying? Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Right now is $300,000 now is $300,000 from the 1st of July.
Wonderful.
Before it was $200,000. And in addition to buying the share, you now pay the government a fee. Now, the fee will change according to the number of people in your family. So if it's you alone, you pay $30,000. If it's you and your wife, say you'll pay $40,000. For each child, you pay an additional amount. So that fee goes to government. That fee. But the minimum investment is the developer's money, because you are buying a share in their project. Now, I'll come back to the developer, as I told you. In the fourth option is what we call the infrastructure option, the enterprise option. If you come and say you build a restaurant in St. Lucia, we have a list of investment areas. So let's say you come and build a restaurant, it's at least, say, $3.5 million, you can qualify for citizenship. If you come with a group of y'all and y'all spend at least 6 of y'all spend $6 million, y'all can qualify for citizenship. That was done to promote investment in certain areas in the country. We've added a new one which is called the infrastructure, where as a developer, you can come and you say, look, I have $20 million and I want to put it in Sir Arthur Lewis Community College to upgrade Sir Arthur Lewis Community College. And then now government will give you a number of shares or applications so you can make back your money. So if you say to government, I'm going to spend $20 million for you, or I'm going to build roads, I'm going to do a housing project that will cost $50 million, government will say, okay, you can recover your money, I will give you X amount of applications or shares, and then you can make back your money, and you will qualify as a developer in that regard. So So there are a number of ways in which you can invest your money once you've done all the background checks, and you can qualify with you or your family for citizenship. Now you ask the question, how does one become a developer? I give you the example let me give you two examples. You come and you say, look, I'm going to build a hotel on VG Beach. It's going to cost me $100 million to build a hotel. In addition to building the hotel, the cost of the hotel, I need to pay architects, I need to pay commissions, I need to pay for marketing, I need to pay for promotions, I need to pay X, Y, and Z, and the hotel construction cost is $100 million, but all my expenses will come up to $200 million. Then you say to government, you have to give me shares in exchange for 200 million, not 100 million, but total expenses, which is 200 million. The government will give you the number of shares according to your total expenses that you submitted to government. Now, a share is the equivalent of an application.
Okay, an application for citizenship.
So that application can be Shelton Daniel and wife and one child. On that, because that's one application. That application might be Shelton Daniel by himself. It might be Shelton Daniel and wife.
Right.
So it varies according to the demographics of the applicant. But it is one applicant. A share is one applicant.
Okay.
So if they tell you they give you 3,000 shares, it means you get 3,000 applications that you can get investments for. So you virtually have 3,000 applications that you can submit. And remember, each application will pay the minimum investment amount. What changes is that the fees that you pay to government. So for your wife, you pay extra fees. Each child, you pay extra fees. Because remember, for real estate, there are two amounts you pay. You pay the minimum investment amount, and you pay the government fees.
Okay. So it isn't the case that the real estate option allows you to circumvent what you would consider to be the normal requirements for an applicant who is applying for citizenship through investment. You have to pay those fees. You have to pay what is required for any application, but you also have to pay additional fees.
Yes, you have to. And the point is, unless you pay those fees, you cannot qualify for citizenship.
Okay.
No matter what people say about discounting, underpricing, rebates, that's their sales strategies out there. Until you as an applicant pays the minimum investment amount and your fees to the government, you cannot become a citizen.
All right. So let me ask you, does the government have any need or any business, or is it a requirement for government to monitor the sale of those shares or those units, whatever, by the developer? Because the persons that they sell them to, don't those persons have to go to the same process of screening and due diligence and so on to see that even though you are subscribing to an investment, do we really want you as a citizen here? Do you still go about and screen the person as you would if they had applied for citizenship under another track apart from the real estate investment option? I hope you understand what I'm saying, you know?
No, I don't. Explain that one to me.
Okay, all right.
So you're talking about the developer or the applicant?
Yeah, well, okay. The developer is assigned a certain amount of shares, okay, that they can sell in order to raise money. Does the government have any control over who they offer those shares to that they sell so that they can raise money? You understand? Who they sell it to in China?
No, we have a say because that person has to apply to the unit for all the background checks I spoke about.
All right.
So if they come with Joe Blow, when Joe Blow applies and we go and do the background check and Joe Blow fails the background check, we don't even ask them to pay the investment amount because they fail.
All right. Okay. This is what I wanted to know. Is it a case that the developer has a free-for-all to go and sell shares to anybody and everybody and so on because they want to make money? You know, I'm glad you.
No.
Yeah.
That person has to apply, and I give you the process.
Right.
That person has to get all the documents checked.
Right.
The bank have to approve that they will accept their money.
Okay.
They have to do the law enforcement, the financial review, the due diligence, all of that before they even make the investment amount.
All right.
The investment.
Okay, so the developer going and sell those shares is not an easy thing, like they can just go and just, essentially be like hucksters out in the market. I need you to clarify that.
No, that's not how it is done.
Yes.
I mean, they find a person. So, for example, and I've been to some of those events.
Yes.
You'll hold a cocktail in a city center, a cocktail, and you invite some of the most well-to-do persons to come to hear about your project, and they offer you shares to come and buy shares and qualify for citizenship. So persons then will come, they will listen to the presentations. You build in a hotel, this is the thing of the hotel, it's a this brand hotel, whatnot, and you say, well, yeah, it's something I don't mind investing in, and I will qualify for citizenship.
Right.
Then you submit your papers.
Okay.
You then have to pass through all the background checks.
Right.
And then you make your payment for the shares so you can qualify for citizenship.
Wonderful. Thanks for clarifying that. Now, the other question I have for you, Mr. Minister. When those shares, or whatever we call them, or files are assigned to a developer to enable them to go out there and to promote so that they can raise funds for the development, and it has to be an approved development, whether it's a hotel or other approved development, how does St. Lucia exercise control over the number of people that could be applying for citizenship? Because you give them, and that's something that has come up, the amount of files that you give them, that would be equivalent to how many thousands of passports, when I know St. Lucia has put a certain limit and a cap and a regulation on the amount of citizenships that can be awarded in a given year and passports that are issued. So how do we now...
The last Prime Minister changed the law, so there's no cap anymore. The last Prime Minister removed the cap.
Good. So right now, it's through no doing of this government, but it is a reality, and correct me if I'm misunderstanding you, that if a developer goes out to sell those shares and they're successful in selling all of the shares, we could end up with thousands of people applying for and on paper qualifying for citizenship by investment. Is that a correct way?
Right. So that is correct. So if you Shelton Daniel, you build in a hotel on VG Beach, and you got 2,000 shares, there'll be 2,000 applications you will submit to the unit. When you've submitted 2,000 applications, your project will close. Now, each of those 2,000 applications might be you, one person, might be two persons, might be three persons, might be four persons. So theoretically, you can end up having, say, 4,000 people qualifying for citizenship through the 2,000 applications, because when you apply as Shelton Daniels or as Shelton Daniels family, you might have your wife and child with you.
Okay, it might be me and 5 other people or 4 other people, whatever.
Yes. Okay. You and your, not anybody. It has to be you and dependents.
Right. Okay. Understand. How sustainable is that in the sense of the amount of citizenship applications that we may have to process and grant and so on? I know. I take the point that it was done by the predecessor. They removed that restriction and so on. But how sustainable is that for the future of the program and controlling the demographics and the influxes, etc. and so on? Have there been any concerns about that? And is it possible that sometime in the future we may find it necessary to review this?
No, you're absolutely right, which is why when we first started the program, we had a limit of 500 applications a year, no more than that. That was changed, and once you are awarded somebody, a contract to build a hotel, you couldn't now put a restriction like that anymore. Okay. But it is something we have to consider how much longer we want to do the program for, and whether we will go back to an annual quota. These are discussions that we have to have at some point in time.
Okay. The other thing which I wanted to ask is, there has been a lot of referencing about a prison project in St. Kitts. I do not know how it applies to St. Lucia, but the logic seems to be, why would you give somebody sufficient files or shares to sell that far exceeds the costing of the project which they're raising funds for? So that if, for example, the canal development has been costed and the developer has said that we see this thing as costing 300 million, but you have given them shares that are equivalent to 700 million. If they successfully sell all the shares, the extra 400 million that they have made, is there something about it that we should be concerned about, that they have a whole lot of money more than the project cost? Or is it a situation where it's not our business, we shouldn't worry about that? Once we get what was due to us, once we got our pound of flesh, and I'm talking about St. Lucia, that your extra money that you made and so on, you now have to account to your shareholders and so on. I think you get the point about overselling and discounting and all of that. Can you tell us whether these are legitimate concerns and how they are addressed?
But let me put it that way to you. When you're going to grant shares, you have to get a sense of what the total expenditure will be. Mm-hmm. Now, there is in any project there is construction costs, mm-hmm. and in this industry, a very significant cost is what you call commissions.
Okay.
Now, all the developers around the world not around the world, but certainly in our region, are competing to see who can give the highest commission to get the most files, mm-hmm. the most shares. Because think about it. If you, Shelton, you are immigration service in the Middle East, North Africa, mm-hmm. and you have a group of 30 people who want citizenship through investment, you will shop around and see which developer is giving the most commission.
Okay. In other words, they are sweetening the deal and making it more attractive.
They make it more attractive. So this developer in country A will tell you, I'm going to give you $50,000 commission on every file. Mm-hmm. Another person will say, no, I'll give you $60 commission on every file. Okay. So the developers themselves are in a race to see who can offer the most commissions. Mm-hmm. But the commission itself now becomes an expenditure item.
Okay.
So when you tell me you want to build a project, you will say what your construction cost is, you will say what your commission cost is, you will say what your promotion and marketing cost is, you will say what your design cost is, and you give a total cost. So you don't just look at the cost of, say, a prison is 50 million, but you've got shares worth 200 million, because in addition to the 50 million, they may be paying 100 million in commissions to try and make sure all the files come to them.
Okay, all right, okay.
You follow me?
All right. So basically what they do out there in the market in terms of whatever fancy footwork and promotional techniques and selling techniques that they use is not something that we need to be pulling our hair out about.
Well, I mean, again, it depends on what you set your priorities are. I always give people the example of the real estate agent. If you, Shelton, selling apartments for $1 million US, mm-hmm. and you're giving 10% commission, mm-hmm. it means every agent that comes with a buyer, you will keep 900,000 and you give him 100,000.
Right.
If he tells the buyer, I will share the 100,000 with you. Mm-hmm. So in effect now, he's not paying 1 million, he's paying 950,000.
Right.
Because he's getting back 50 when he shares the commission.
Right.
But if you now give 20% commission, mm-hmm. and he shares it with the buyer, mm-hmm. the buyer pays 900,000 because he gets 100,000 back.
Right.
So he now, the agent, can say, I'm selling apartments for 900,000. Mm-hmm. Because he knows that's what you're going to pay.
Right.
Because he's giving you back 100,000 on your million.
All right.
So out there are agents actually competing, offering deals.
Right.
You know, and there are developers who will give higher commissions.
Right.
In St. Lucia, under the last government, our unit started to give commissions to promoters out there. We were giving commissions. Mm-hmm. We started giving commissions at the unit. Right. So we would hold back a certain amount of money and we will pay it out through commissions to promoters so they can bring their files to St. Lucia.
Right. Okay.
It's the same. So we were part of it. It wasn't even a developer doing it first. It was first started by our own unit offering commissions. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying commissions are wrong. I'm not saying that one bit. Because for you to get files, you must offer commissions.
Right.
Otherwise, people will go to the countries that offer commissions.
Right.
But what I think has happened is that the commission contest has gotten out of hand. People keep offering more and more commission and more commission and more commission. But when they offer you commission is a cost.
Right.
So you have to add it to the total cost that they presented to you for the project.
Right.
If we can find a way to stop those high commissions, all the number of shares will start going down.
Okay. The commission became an end in itself as opposed to the primary objective of raising funds for a project. Yeah.
Precisely. So, and then, let me tell you, people go to the persons that give the highest commissions.
Naturally.
They will go to, which is why we in the unit under the last government started giving commissions.
Okay.
Because, at least that's the explanation they give. At least that's the explanation they give. They had to offer an attraction. So, although, I will tell you, they probably did it wrongly, but that's another story for another time.
Yes.
But the point is, they claim they had to give commission to attract promoters to come to St. Lucia. Promoters to bring their files to St. Lucia.
Wow. My final question to you, Mr. Minister, I promised that I would keep this inside half an hour, so I don't want to go back on my word. Is there anything that St. Lucia, under this government of which you are part of, has given to Galaxy that was not already given to them in terms of the files, in terms of the shares, in terms of the units, in terms of the price competitiveness that they could operate out there, in the market with it? Is there anything? Because I am getting the feeling that Galaxy was brought into St. Lucia, welcomed into St. Lucia by the previous administration. They were promoted, they were sold, all the good things were said about them. But at almost everything that they were given and that they were allowed and that they were agreed to do and so on seems to have become, the subject of being accused and impugned and so on, merely because the government has changed. So I want to ask, under this administration of which you have had responsibility since it took office in 2021, is there anything that this government, any kind of sweetheart deal that they have given Galaxy that is different or better than what obtained before?
Well, as you know, this matter is one of the litigation, so I have to be very careful how I answer that question. But what I can tell you is under the last government, they brought Galaxy. They said they did all the due diligence on Galaxy, and Galaxy passed with flying colors. They swore by Galaxy. They even went out to get hotel brands for Galaxy. The former Prime Minister also said that he had heard talk about Galaxy's sales strategy. They investigated it. They saw nothing wrong with it. He also said the unit said they had systems in place to make sure that the laws of St. Lucia were observed, and there was nothing wrong with what Galaxy was doing as far as they were concerned. So he brought Galaxy. They passed all the screening tests, all the due diligence tests. They heard talk about the sales strategy, which is not unusual, and they found that there was nothing wrong. So why all of a sudden Galaxy is the worst thing on earth, and that Galaxy should be this and Galaxy should be that? They cleared it.
Including the due diligence firm, which I don't think, which is such a big problem now, and they were aware of it and were okay with it.
Yeah, I'm not even talking about that one too, because like I said, some of those things will be for litigation.
I get you.
But the point is, we are very clear in our minds. We've not broken any laws. We're not aware of the unit having done anything wrong or anybody did anything wrong. And therefore, when the time comes and we have to put forward our case, we will put forward our case. What happened if Martinez in St. Kitts has nothing to do with us, and his inclusion of St. Lucia is political. It was engineered, designed, and is been promoted as a political agenda. I'm very clear in my mind on that, and we have all the evidence to show that that is the case. And even the talk about St. Lucia losing its visa access, all of that was political scaremongering. And the latest about we losing correspondent banking, again, is designed to destroy St. Lucia. It is a political agenda that's been pursued. And that is how it is going to be, exposed for what it is.
Honorable Dr. Ernest Hilaire, thank you so very much for joining us on the telephone and bringing what I hope is some greater clarity to some of these matters, which for the layman could have been a little dizzying, but we hope that you would have caused us to appreciate exactly what's going on. All the best to you, sir.
All right, thank you very much. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Bye.
So we'll go straight to our commercial break, and when we come back, telephone lines are open to take your calls, and I'll do my best to read your messages, which have really been pouring in. Real Issues is on. Don't go away.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real Issues, 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosile Bus Stop, Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosile.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real Issues, 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
The fastest and easiest way to win a tug of war, not necessarily the best, is to let go. You know, when the other side is pulling at the hardest and most determined, you let go. Technically you lose, you know, but you send them sprawling. And that's probably more of a victory than toughing it out and grunting and groaning and, with the Vancouver and all of that. And I suspect that the largely unexpected surprise announcement yesterday of Vern Gard's appointment as the new commissioner or acting commissioner of police, I suspect it has wrong-footed and off-balanced a lot of people who had been bracing and gearing up for a fight and to go to war over who they thought might be named, if only acting once again, commissioner. And they just didn't get that. Isn't it surprising the way the UWP and United PAC and whatever, how they seem to have been? Well, I don't really read a lot of them, but how quiet they seem to have been, how quietly they seem to have taken the news of Vern Gard's appointment. Because a fight they wanted. Some war over some supposed, you know the whole story. I don't want to go into it because it has taken more of the character of what could become an official sexual offense case, and to have somebody's name dragging up and down. In sexual offense cases, you're not supposed to do that, but it hasn't really entered the court process. We don't know if it ever will. But, I was surprised, at the kind of lack of reaction over it. So maybe they find Vern Gard to be a nice, equitable, above board, candidate. But I'm not holding my breath on that, seeing what I have seen going on in this country, tearing into any and everybody who has any kind of association or relationship. Philip JP's daughter, Reno Gajada's daughter, this person's family, that person thing, and they invent relationships that don't exist. Remember Ronald Phillip, deputy commissioner, was supposed to be Philip JP's fiel, if not his son, whatever, and they invent relationships so that they can go after people. You're not supposed to be anybody's family and this, but at the same time, no question being answered about how come you can be prime minister and minister of finance, the one who orders and approves and signs for contracts and rent agreements and so on with private entities for government offices and so on, about how come there is no sign whatsoever that you recused yourself from the cabinet. Anyway, you're going to say it and then a court will find you not credible, that you sign in for the rent, multi-million-dollar rent arrangements with a private business entity of which you yourself are a shareholder. The other shareholders are your sister, same mother, same father with you, your father, your mother. The four of you are the quartet of shareholders. Serious questions about conflict of interest and the implications for integrity in public life, if not outright corruption. There is no addressing these kind of things. But it's all going into people and trying to tear them up and destroy them and so on. I mean, like I say, I don't expect opposition to ever be a cheerleader for government, to come and say, oh, the government is doing. No, that's not the role of opposition. But I have never seen this kind and this level of ad hominem viciousness and vindictiveness that is being practiced there. There seems to be absolutely no conscience, no scruples about it. Whatever I have to do to see if that will get me back into power, I don't care who I destroy, who I go after, whatever. Go carry on. We have a call on the line. Hello, Real Issues.
Good afternoon, Mr. Sheldon.
Caller, are you there?
Yes, I'm there. Are you hearing me?
Is it a WhatsApp call that's connecting?
Are you hearing me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you now, finally.
Yes, thank you. Well, I have a few things to say, but the first...
Speak up a bit. I'm not hearing you well. It could be my hearing that's at fault, but...
Yeah, you hearing me now?
I'm hearing you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I have a few things to say. The first one is that I saw a function on Channel 115 on Sunday night.
You saw what on Sunday night?
Yeah, a function in New York.
Ah, okay.
It was supposed to be a barbecue and town hall meeting.
Mm-hmm.
So, I suppose the leader of the opposition cannot get his way in St. Lucia, so he went up there to gang up the people, his supporters, which some of them cannot even come to St. Lucia because they have burned the stay there. Now, I'm saying that to say that that cannot over take all the pensioners and pensioners, the voters and Lucia, the pensioners and all the rest. I don't think those are there. And the people I saw there, they don't look like pensioners and ex-teachers and ex-nurses. I don't think I saw this there. The people I saw there seem the people that in the States for a while, and someone can really come down. So I say this to say that the leader of the opposition can go where he wants and do what he wants, but it cannot surpass, it cannot put up any kind of fight with the things that Jita has done to St. Lucia. You cannot do anything. You can go to hell and you cannot do anything to outdone the things that Jita put in place for the pensioners. And, well, I'm to mention pensioners because I'm one of them, but all the rest, like, is good for. Because Shasta didn't do anything for any of us to gain anything. I cannot mention nothing Shasta did that St. Lucian benefit from. Apart from his family and his friends. So he can go where he wants. He can go to hell and back. He can go to New York and gang up whoever he wants. He will not succeed. Most likely he'll have to wait a long while before he becomes Prime Minister again. It's error. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. 487-9849 is the WhatsApp call number, 487-9849. We have another caller on the line. Hi, caller. Good afternoon. Real Issues.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon to you.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Daniel.
Yeah.
This man is very nasty, cunning, and divisive. Because he's only St. Lucian when he's in power, when he wants rulership of our country. But when he's in opposition, he's proving that he's not a St. Lucian. Because he said that he is a product of Canada. So if you're St. Lucian, why are you trying to create that destruction on our country? Because you have lost power. And I believe too much liberty is being given to this man. Because he believes, because of his so-called pedigree, that he is above the law and he cannot take prison in our country. Yes, thank you.
All right, thank you very much. 4533911 and 487-9849. The numbers that you can call. One, you can do WhatsApp calling on it, 487-9849, and our regular studio landline number, 4533911. Somebody says of Shastny, he's the US's jokes person. Yeah, like what? And that's in response to what I said. Shastny seems to always be coming at us with some American perspective and some American point of view. You are a member of the Parliament of St. Lucia. You leader of the opposition. You chairman of the Public Accounts Committee. You're the immediate past Prime Minister. You're the representative, the member of Parliament for a constituency. Why is Martinez it's like Shasta is taking his cue from Martinez.
Hello?
We have a call on the line. Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
How are you doing?
I just need to ask a question, right? And maybe our opposition political leader need to take a cue out of that. When our past Prime Minister, Dr. Anthony, was no longer Prime Minister, what did he do? Was he just an ordinary citizen of St. Lucia and the police?
You kind of muffled. I'm having difficulty hearing you. You said something about Dr. Kenny Anthony. What about him?
I said when he was not the Prime Minister, at the time when Shastny and the UWP was in power, he was the leader of the opposition, which was the leader of the St. Lucia Labour Party. What did he do? Did he cause discourse in this country? Did he try to make us look bad in this country? You understand? And I've been listening to the news, I've been listening to all of the back and forth on the road, and I'm wondering, even the people who are sitting down in the audience, Why all these lights are being spewed and they are laughing and they're joking and they're clapping. Are they realizing they are St. Lucians? Are they realizing that when we are losing or somebody's trying to make us look like we are getting, we're in this, not even third, maybe fourth world country? You understand? I just do not even understand the level of, I don't even know how to put it, the level of intelligence, man. We are right now on the map. Let me give you a little example of something that happened to me last week. Somebody saw a foreign currency in my bag while I was doing a transaction. And she asked me, what is that currency? And I said to her, this is a St. Lucian currency. She looked at me and she was a little puzzled. And I said to her, the home of land of the birth of Julian Alfred and two noble lyrics. And the lady went up in the air. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? We have a leader of our opposition who is putting down an institution. You're putting down our people. You're putting down the leading government. I'm trying to wonder, when is it going to end? When is it going to end, man? We are trying to get from here to there. We have our pitons, who is our national landmark. We have Julian Alfred, which is now a gold and a silver medal. We have two Nobel laureates. Come on, where are we going from here? What are we doing to this country of St. Lucia? Instead of I'm saying our poor kids are going to go to school right now to move from here to there, and when I see a political leader taking us from there to back there, come on, I'm not even complaining about the man himself. I am wondering about the followers and the people, and let me tell you something, Sheldon. In spite of how labor I am not sitting in any labor audience and I'm hearing garbage coming out of my political leader's mouth and I'm going to sit down there and clap for him. I am not lying to tell you that. This is nonsense. This is lies. It's like telling you right now you're wearing a yellow shirt or a pink shirt or a green shirt and definitely you have a blue shirt on you, And I'm not seeing it's a blue shirt you have on you and you're telling me it's a red shirt you have on you or a yellow shirt or a green shirt or a blue shirt. Come on, and I'm hoping these people are listening and hearing us. Tell them, man, come straight with the stories. Where are we going with our poor little island? I shouldn't say poor island of St. Lucia, our great island of St. Lucia. You understand? This is our country that gave us birth, man. Stop sending wrong signals to the outside world. Stop sending it out there. That's all I have to say, Sheldon. Because when my last news, I just had to get that out of my chest because I'm a proud St. Lucian walking around, and when I hear these things, I feel really, really bad. Really, really bad. Have a blessed week, Sheldon.
Thank you very much, my friend. You as well. All right, I think we can squeeze in a couple more calls. We have someone else on the line, don't we? All right, okay. All right, let's see if we can squeeze in a couple more calls.
Good day. I must commend Dr. Ernest Hiller. He did a great job. That's a man I always believe. I think the next after Philip J.P. has been the next prime minister. But you know what? Concerning the commissioner of police, the other media knew that the new media asked people, "What do you think about the commissioner of police?" I said to them, "What we need to do right now, let us focus on the crime that is taking place in the country. We need all hands on deck, right? Trying to make up trying to bring a story, trying to bring people like to disable the force of the man." I tell him again, right now, he has a family, right? He has a job to do right now. So all we have to do, let us join hands with him. Let us try to see how much we can stop the violence in our country. And let's stop focus and ask people, what do you think? Is he capable of doing the job and everything? I said to them that I personally believe that he's capable with his experience, and so what we need to do, and all of this government, let us embrace him. And this is what I believe we should do. Sheldon, you're doing a great job. Thank you a lot. Keep the good work. Thank you. All right. Okay, thanks. Sir.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. We can still take one more call, I think, if we can keep it tight. So who wants to put in the effort to be our final caller for today? 487-9849. All right, we have someone on the line. Likely will be our final caller. Good afternoon, Real Issues.
Yes, good day, Shelton. I'm the lucky final caller.
Yeah, how you doing?
Yes, how you doing, Shelton? Long time.
I'm okay.
Oui, mais t'es gardé pour aller work là, mais pas avoir pièce.
Mati aller work là, mati là.
All right, these guys will not stop at anything. I've never heard such BS. I mean, the Kala diaspora, c'est tout ces BS that have been spread. That's not even suitable for toilets.
I mean, I don't know if it's just BS. Maybe that's a right description, but my goodness, friend.
Yeah. Let me tell you.
I mean, to associate yourself with those kinds of characters.
I'm living in because I said maybe that's another Saint Lucia, one of the islands. Yeah, Shatney promised to bring up.
Yeah, to associate yourself with those kinds of characters.
Yeah.
Just because you believe it will gain you some political brownie points against the government of your own country and your own country. I mean, you actually want to see your name and whatever associated with Martinez and Rejoc. These are the kind of people you're bringing on board to give you backup, to give you reinforcement. I mean, Rejoc and Martinez, these are certified, proven, convicted, jailed crooks, you know?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. You take things with these criminals, and like they say, Sheldon, birds of a feather flock together. So, I mean, it simply says, the type of person they are. If you associate yourself with criminals, it shows who you are. Show me your friends, and I'll tell you who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it's sad, but yes, we need to open our eyes. I mean, these guys, that's desperation on the highest level. I've never seen it like that. Anyway, have a good one, children.
Yeah, all the best to you as well.
Okay, bye.
Okay, folks, that's where we'll wrap it up for the Real Issues for today. God willing, we can do this again same time tomorrow from 12:30 until 2 on Real FM Radio, NBC Television, Facebook Live, and YouTube live streaming. On behalf of the technical operator Jaquan, Shelton Daniel signing out.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
The winning numbers for the midday draw of Tuesday, 3rd September 2024 were Double Daily Grand, 8, 10, 13, 18. Big 4, 7, 0, 9, 1. Big for Multi-X, 2X. Pick 2, 9, 9. Pick 2 Multi-X, 3X. 1 off, 4, 8, 3. Lucky 3, 3, 1, 1. Lucky 3 Multi-X, 3X.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues.